So it's about midday today, and I'm here in Victoria Harbour in Hong Kong. I decided I have way too many cameras for like similar functions. So I'm going to use this opportunity now to figure out which one of my small packable micro four thirds system cameras to keep from my collection. And I have three kind of overlapping devices. I'm going to show all three, talk a little bit about them. And I decided I'm going to do maybe 50 to 100 photos with each, small video as well. And then we compare usefulness, usability, and then we decide what to keep. Man, it's getting hot already. So the very first camera we're trying today is the Olympus Pen E-p7, the most modern, newest camera released in 2021. Out of these three is the newest. The only thing is it does not have a viewfinder. So I have to switch my brain to like use the screen instead of the viewfinder. But maybe it took me 10, 15 minutes to make the switch in my brain. So I'm having a lot of fun with it so far. So now we are walking around in the park. It is like walking in the park, but I also switched cameras to this beauty. So this is the Pen F. This is much older than the previous one I showed. It's from 2016, but it has like similar resolution, roughly similar sensor. It is because of its age, like it takes its time for everything. Like at least it does have a viewfinder. Viewfinder here. So it has a beautiful viewfinder, but when I raise it to my eye level, it becomes, it takes about maybe half a second to see it. It takes a while to notice that it's at eye level. It takes its time to react. The other weird thing is that the shutter sounds a bit like weak, but loud. It's like metallic. I don't feel like it's particularly pleasant, and because of the pitch or something, it's quite audible. So I don't feel like I'm very, stealthy when I use this one. But otherwise, first of all, it's beautiful. It has a viewfinder. So especially in this bright sunlight, it is better than suffering through some kind of touchscreen or LCD screen. And yeah, let's shoot a little. So I shot about maybe half an hour with the Pen-F. The battery is about to run dry. I did a couple of like video snapshots. I will run the battery dry and then maybe have lunch, some nice noodle soup, and then we will shoot with the last of the third cameras. So here's the situation. I had the noodle soup. Predictably, predictably my energy level dropped significantly because I'm digesting noodles now, but I have the third camera configured and deployed and ready to go. So this is the, I guess, GX80 from Panasonic Lumix brand. And it has the smallest sensor out of the three, just 16 megapixels, but could be still okay. But it does have the EVF, right? And it's also very tiny. And yeah, let's see how it fares compared to the other two. Even though I have a cold and a bad hair day, I will still finish this video. So what I will do now is load some of these photos up in Lightroom and we'll look at the three cameras results, and then I will share which camera I picked out of the three, which one can stay. So the first camera I arrived with was the EP7. I tried to get like a couple of shots that are more scenic, like cityscape type of shots, couple of people photos, and more like environmental portrait type of photos as well. First one is basically a cityscape from my Discovery Bay ferry looking toward Hong Kong Island. Again, just colors are nice. It's very, very sharp where it needs to be very sharp. Here it's more group of people and then our hero. So this photo is a good example of kind of a portrait where the guy was obviously in shadow, and I was able to pull back the shadow quite a lot and kind of show his face. I did seem to, like, looking at this, the focus is a little bit more in the back with the people on the bench, but still it's like a cool character for sure. This is maybe a better kind of portrait, just really popping, amazing colors, very sharp on the face where it needs to be sharp. And again, there's a lot of detail, there's a lot to pull from the image. This one more like a group of people, mostly everybody's in focus. I was able to kind of get the hand gestures that I wanted. Again, very, very happy with the results of this little camera, and obviously because it's such a small little camera, like nobody bothered that I made these snapshots. And then this is more like a postcard type of photo, again, super sharp. By the way, for all of these photos across the three cameras, I use the same zoom lens, right? So it's all the same glass across all three. But yeah, great colors, very sharp, no problem here. Next one was the Olympus Pen-F. So this one, again, quite old camera from 2016. And first of all, like I did, even on these like small previews, you kind of see a little bit of kind of greenish tint, I would say, that I noticed before. But still, it's pretty nice. So on this one, I really like this was a little bit edited with Radiant Photo plugin in Lightroom, but I love how the red colors pop. Again, it's sharp enough. You can see shape of the face and the glasses and the creases on the red dress. I think very cool shot with this camera. This one again, I was able to pull back the shadows a little bit. Those two faces were quite dark, and now I think it's good enough. And I feel like I got a strong scene, at least, with these two central characters and a lot of color in the background, and it's again sharp enough. This one more like a portrait with very cool background. Yeah, absolutely sharp enough for this very old camera, and I'm very happy with this. I think the slight blur in the background makes the character pop. Very thoughtful as well, with two glasses, two sunglasses. Very cool. And then this last one of my favorite shots for the dates. Kind of good representation of the mood of like just watching the ferries come and go in Victoria Harbour. Again, kind of postcardish, sharp enough, with good mood. There is this color thing that I'm sure if I would be a better editor, I would be able to edit out, but it is there. And here, more like a moody street scene. I love the pop of red and the complex lines and shapes, but it's still, for me, kind of poetic image. And then again, leaning into a little bit zooming in with the lens and capturing this very nice scene here. I was pleasantly surprised with this camera. This is the Pen F, and the only two issues I had, one was basically the sensor and the kind of color science casting this greenish tint, and the second one was somehow the exposure compensation dial, I think it was malfunctioning, and I always had to like pull back the exposure compensation. I don't know if it can be fixed or what. Yeah, and the third thing was this thing absolutely has a viewfinder, but when I raised it to my eyes, it took like a couple of milliseconds at least to show the screen, and it was a bit jarring to have to like wait for the screen. So the old construction and maybe some mechanical failures there. Unfortunately, I have to probably get rid of this beautiful camera. So our last camera is the Panasonic Lumix GX7 Mark II, or is the same camera as GX80 or 85 in different markets. So for a while, I thought this is going to be kind of a good front runner out of the tree, because it did have a viewfinder and many other advanced features that some of the other cameras didn't have. And I did get some good photos. This is one just looking down at a guy doing kind of a tie cheating in the harbor. But this is a good example. So again, amazing colors, no color cast at all. I think by far good enough details for these kind of shots. But the autofocus itself was a bit slow, and I noticed I do see a lot of people like blinking on my photos, or their like legs are just not in the nice V position, but already moved past when I pressed the exposure button. So I did miss quite a few shots because a little bit slow autofocus there, even though it's a great camera. And I did get great shots. This one more stationary target, very cool background. I actually really like this shot here. Yeah, all these kind of more stationary subjects, you can see again good focus, good colors, good level of detail. Hey, we have sun stars here as well. Yeah, this one I really liked. This is a very nice background I always visit on the promenade uh, from Central Pier towards Kennedy Town. Yeah, so I got very good photos that I enjoy, but when it was moving subjects and I relied on the autofocus, um, it just didn't work out fast enough. So the final decision is I'm gonna keep the EP7, which is, like we discussed, the newest camera. It has the most modern like focusing system and features and capabilities. And despite not having a viewfinder, it's the best tool out of the three. And I will make every effort to reduce the burden of having all these cameras, and I will get rid of the other two. And what I intend to do is go through all my other types of cameras, system cameras, and any other like film cameras as well. And I will really want to reduce how many of these I have. Thank you.